Hello everybody and welcome to Kozibear's Cooking, the most audacious cooking show on the internet. It's season 3 of Kozibear's Cooking, which means that for 10 weeks, the kind of copy script that I posted underneath my camera said 12 weeks, and I nearly made the mistake of saying that. That was the original plan, but we shortened it to just 10 weeks. I'm coming to you live with 10 fantastically unique, never before seen dishes for your eyeballs and ear holes to enjoy, and my lips to savor. I tried to say both lips and mouth at the same time. I need to stop commenting on me flubbing things on the fly and just go with it. If you're not currently doing so already, you can follow my channel, you can subscribe to it, and of course you can toss a donation or buck my way. Doing so will earn you my eternal gratitude and a few spins from the prize wheel of causality. Today, I'm going to be making a very special, very peculiar set of dishes. I'm a huge fan of Good Mythical Morning. I think that YouTube channel gets up to all sorts of delightful and entertaining shenanigans, and I'm especially impressed by all of the unique culinary creations featured on that channel, particularly the culinary creations created by one Josh Shear, who is like the kind of primary cook, chef, whatever guy for the channel. Back at the very beginning of COVID, he made mac and cheese pizzas. Unfortunately, I was not able to get a very good screenshot that would fit within the borders of my little recipe image thing over here on the left side of the screen. But yeah, it kind of is what it is. It basically was Kraft mac and cheese assembled into the shape of a pizza crust, as it were. And then topped with pizza toppings and baked to perfection. I figured, you know what? I'd like to do that myself, but what if I took things to the next level? You might remember how last year in Kozibear's Cooking, I made Kraft mac and cheese with a couple of the limited edition flavor packets that were released last year in Canada. Right here, I have 2 of these limited edition flavor packets. Over here, on your right, I have jalapeno flavor. And over here on your left, I have buffalo wings flavor packet. I think this might have been my favorite. And I remember the jalapeno being not that bad either. Here's what we're gonna do. We are gonna make a batch of Kraft mac and cheese to serve as the crust for one pizza with the buffalo wings flavor packet. And we're gonna top that with buffalo chicken sauce, courtesy of one Rachel Ray. A mixture of mozzarella and Monterey Jack cheese, and a few scallions here and there, which I put on the counter. Here we go. Et voila. The jalapeno pizza, on the other hand, will be topped with a jalapeno, what's the word for it? Why isn't I blanking on it right now? Oh dear. Oh boy. Hold on. Gotta crank the computer to get it to remember. Jalapeno pesto. I'm gonna crank it with some homemade spicy jalapeno pesto. And in addition to that, a mixture of Monterey Jack, mozzarella, and cheddar cheese, as well as some freshly cut jalapenos on top in place of what would normally be slices of delicious, savory meat. Clear as mud? Either way, let's get going. We have a lot of things to do, but I actually don't think that this stream will take all that long to complete. I would be surprised if we end up going over 3 hours. First things that we gotta do is we've gotta actually make our 2 Kraft mac and cheese packages. Now it says best before, this one says November 21st, this one says January 10th. I have a third backup one over here. This one is November 21st. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna use these 2. It says best before that date, but I trust that they'll probably still be pretty okay. And put simply, we're gonna make the 2 of these both at once. And then from there, we'll basically divide the macaroni in question so that we can have one that's made with the buffalo wing flavor boost and the other that's made with the jalapeno flavor boost. Empty the pasta into a 6-cup this is the microwave instructions. Stovetop instructions. Add 6 cups of water, add pasta, cooked 7 or 8 minutes or until just tender, stirring occasionally. Drain, return to the saucepan. Add 1 tablespoon of non-hydrogenated margarine or butter, 1/3 of a cup of skim milk, and the cheese sauce mix, and then mix well. Let's go ahead and let's grab our nice big pot that we're gonna be using. Let me go ahead and grab ourselves a 2-cup measuring cup. I don't know if I'm gonna fill this all the way to the brim with 12 cups of water, but I'll fill it nicely. Hold on just a quick second. I was keeping a container of chicken submerged right in front of the sink because I needed to defrost it so that we can make our buffalo chicken sauce to go on one of our pizzas later. I'm just gonna move this over here so that we can have it ready to go when we are ready to work on that. All right. Without further ado, let's see. I'm not gonna be super precise. I'm just gonna kind of eyeball what I think looks good. All right. That's 2 cups. Four cups. 6 cups. 8 cups. 10 cups. And 12 cups. This actually looks just right for the amount of pasta we're going to be making. All right. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this thing on the stove. Give me just a quick second. We're going to go ahead and we're going to cover it so that we can retain as much heat as possible, and we're going to put it on the highest possible temperature that we currently can muster. Okay. I'm going to put these back over here for the time being. While that's happening, we're going to heat something else up on the stove. This right here is 1/2 of marinara sauce, or 1/2 and 1/2 of tomato puree. It's a little bit confusing because the packaging says marina sauce, which is not a thing. We need a little bit of tomato sauce for when we make our kind of buffalo chicken sauce to go on that one pizza. So we're gonna be defrosting this stuff. I don't know like how concentrated the flavor of this is gonna be, considering that half of it is supposedly just tomato puree, but we can always season it with Italian seasoning later on if we feel like it needs a little bit more of a kick in the pants. Let me just, there we go. Oh, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Some bits of tomato sauce, I think, fell over on the side of the pot. Let's get that in there. I think I'm gonna need to use a bit of paper towel. Where is the cover? Here we go. This is the cover for our sauce, and so real simple, I'm just gonna kind of slowly heat this thing up until it is nicely melted and ready to be used in other parts of today's meal. And I'll have a spoon on hand that I can use to help break it up. I'll use this nice wooden spoon over here. Pasta is doing its thing. The water, that is, that the pasta will be submerged into. Okay. What else? You know what? While that's happening, let's go ahead and let's prepare the pesto that we're going to be putting on the jalapeno pizza. Oof, I was really concerned for a second there that something was going to fall over. Thankfully, it didn't happen, but still, my heart is still pounding very furiously because of that. Okay. So, this is actually cilantro jalapeno pesto. Whoa, not your alpaca. Thank you for the subscription. Lucky number 13 in sub months. Glad to still be around. Keep up the great work. Thank you. Because you subscribe to me, you get a total of 3 spins on the wheel spin of causality. In fact, you know what? Seeing as how we don't have a whole lot going on at the moment, we're just waiting for things to kind of take their course over on the stove. Let's go ahead and let's see one of those wheel spins right now. 1, 2, and 3. Well, Bionicle book time. This is where we read from Bionicle Chronicles 1, The Tale of the Toa, and learn all the secrets about the fabled land of Matanui. Let me go ahead and let me bring in the proper camera perspective for that. All right. Always fun to read some Bionicle books. Whew. Last time, from Bionicle Chronicles number 1, we had seen Toa descend into the deepest, darkest reaches of Anukoro. And now, we're going to find out just what became of him within its hallowed, shallow, shadowy halls. Only steps ahead, the floor dropped away into nothingness. Tahu couldn't see the bottom. Great, he thought. What am I supposed to do now? He wasn't sure what made him look up then, but as he did, he caught the glint of something across the chasm. Squinting against the darkness beyond his sword glow, he made out the vague shape of a ledge on the opposite wall of the cavern. On that ledge was a small gray shape. A mask? He wasn't sure. In any case, the yawning depths of the chasm lay between him and the object. How was he supposed to get over there? Tahu took a few careful steps along the near wall of the cavern. As he neared the edge, he finally spotted the answer to his problem. A bridge. A narrow stone span, stretching out from the wall and disappearing into the darkness. A damp wind chilled him as he stood for a moment, uncertain. Then he shook his head. He hadn't come this far to turn back now. He stepped out onto the bridge. It was even narrower than it looked, and it took all of Tahu's concentration to maintain his balance. After a few minutes, he seemed no closer to the far ledge than when he'd started. This is ridiculous, he thought impatiently. It's going to take forever to get across at this rate. He swung his foot out, taking a larger step this time. When it touched the rock, it skidded slightly to one side just as another violent wind gust swept past, and Tahu suddenly felt himself slipping sideways into the chasm. He grabbed at the bridge, wrapping his left arm around it and holding tight. His legs slung loose over the abyss. He threw up his right arm over the bridge as well, nearly losing his grip on his sword as he did so. With a grunt, he flung his legs up, clinging upside down to the underside of the bridge. He focused on pulling himself up and to one side, inching his way around to the top of the bridge. Finally, he heaved a sigh of relief as he pulled himself right side up once again. And that will be all from Bionicle Chronicles number 1 for the time being. Unless, of course, the Wheelspin of Causality should gift us with some more time with this beloved novel from, I presume, the year 2000. Okay, let's just delve a little bit into our pesto recipe. So this comes from bowlofdelicious.com. There's a real long, real unnecessary description getting into what this recipe entails. Let's get to the good stuff. To make this, we need, let me just switch camera views real quick, half a cup of almonds that have been whole or sliced. We need 1 bunch of cilantro with the large stems removed. I have them right here. We need 1 jalapeno with the seeds removed. If we want a mild pesto, that is. Hell yeah, you better believe that we're gonna have plenty of almonds up in this tasty-ass, ridiculous, unusual pizza. We are gonna need salt and pepper to taste. Of course, we have these things always on hand. And of course, finally, last but not least, to help emulsify our pesto mixture, we're gonna need 1/4 of a cup of extra virgin olive oil. And the recipe says plus more if necessary, if we need to make it a little bit more watery. I don't think we will, but we'll see. I'm just gonna check up on the stove here real quick. Water is close to getting boiling point. Tomato sauce is still melting. To catch you up to speed, CTO, what we're doing right now is we are in the process of making a cilantro jalapeno pesto that is basically going to serve as the sauce for one of our mac and cheese pizzas, because that pizza will be flavored with my jalapeno flavor boost packet that I got last year. So I figured, you know, why not make it a jalapeno pizza the whole way through? Okay. First things first, we gotta cut these stems off of the cilantro. Give me a second. There we go. All right, not all the stems are removed, but that removed a good chunk of them. Okay. There we go. Everything that like is ready, I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna plop it into the, what do you want to call it? The blending cup. Words are eluding me a lot recently. I will say the recipe said to use just one bunch of cilantro, and indeed I do have one bunch of cilantro in front of me. I do kind of wish it had been more specific of like, oh, like maybe like 1/8 of a pound or whatever. Because you do sometimes wonder when you're putting your bunch of cilantro into the recipe if it's like exactly as much of a bunch as the person that originally made this recipe had when they made it. Okay, we're almost there though. Almost. All right. Jalapenos are a fruit. I mean, it makes sense because they have seeds inside of them. I don't really like to think of them as a fruit, but I mean, I was aware that peppers are generally considered a fruit, so I mean, I guess it makes sense. That's another one of those like culinary vegetable fruit situations that, you know, I tend not to really think a whole lot about, but yeah, makes sense. All right, I think that's it for the stems. Well, seems like our water is getting to boiling point. Now, what about our tomato sauce? Hold on just a quick little second. I'm just gonna bring in the stove view real quick. So you can see we have a full party of things on the stove today. So we're gonna be doing quite a bit. There we go. I just want to make sure that the kind of central block of pasta sauce over here that's still frozen is at least covered in the sauce around it so it will melt a little bit faster. There we go. Fun fact of the day. It's a good fun fact, I gotta be honest. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm going to cut up and pit this jalapeno that I have right in front of me. And then I'll go ahead and I'll do my second wheel spin of the day. as stated in the recipe, the idea is that I want to remove the seeds if I want a little bit more of a milder pesto sauce, which is indeed what I do want. So that is currently the name of the game right now. You know what? Let me bring over my compost recycling just so I can directly schlep it in there. Just make my life easier like this, you know? I'm also going to need to make sure that I wash my hands well after this because I probably will still have residue of the seeds on them. And that can probably hurt a hell of a lot if I'm not careful. Seems like the water is very nearly there. I mean, both these pizzas that I'm making today are probably going to be pretty spicy because I'm also going to be putting hot sauce into my buffalo chicken pizza as well. So it's going to be an assault on the senses, but hopefully it will be flavorful enough and unique enough of a gustatory experience that I won't really mind it all that much. Okay. Oh, hold on just a quick second. It would seem as if the water that I prepared for my Kraft mac and cheese is boiling. Better go tend to that right away before I forget. I'm just gonna lower the temperature ever so slightly. Let me bring in the camera view in question. There we go. I'm gonna just turn on one of the fans. It's just steam, so it's like not that big of a deal, but okay. I'm gonna want to put both packets in all at once. Your freaking smoke alarm went off right now? That's a weird coincidence. There we go. All right, we're gonna put them both in, both at once. All right, there we go. We'll just keep the boxes over here to the side so that we can consult them whenever we need to do so. All right, Echo, set a timer for 6 minutes.
6 minutes, starting now.
Am I being sarcastic? Am I not being sarcastic? You'll never know. You'll never know. All right, as soon as I cut up these jalapenos and put them into our little cup over here, I'm gonna go ahead and spin our wheel for the second time today. Thank you once again to Not Your Alpaca for granting me both of the wheel spins that we're going to be doing today. And thank you once again to CTO the Bro for being a good hangout buddy. So unfortunately, I can't eat the seeds that were inside of this particular jalapeno because they're right now in the compost recycling and I don't want to reach my hands back in there. If you subscribe to me, no. Well, let's scratch that. If you give me, let's say, $1,666 Canadian, I'll eat all the seeds in another one of the jalapenos that I have over here. I have 3 more of these, so the answer's on the table. $1,666. Your boy Cozy's mouth will bleed all the way home. No joke, there was actually one guy on the channel once that gifted me $200 for smashing an egg on my head. He was like some weird YouTube guy. I forget what his name is. I mean, hey, I got $200 and all I lost was an egg, so I'm pretty happy about that. Let me just make sure that none of the noodles are burning and stuck to the bottom of the pot. I'm gonna just mix up our tomato sauce yet again. Well, it seems like there's only one tiny little itty bit at the bottom that's still frozen. Perfect. All right. Let's go ahead and let's spin from the prize wheel of causality yet again. 1, 2, and 3. Oh, 10 push-ups. Not even 5 push-ups. It had to be 10 push-ups. All right, well, I'm not going to deny what the wheel spin of causality asks of me. Let's go ahead and let's bring in the push-up camera. I actually have been, I don't want to say working out, but I have been doing some exercises recently that might make this easier than it's been in the past. Let's find out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Whew. Oh, that was still tough. All right. Let's wash my hands again because they're now probably a little bit dirty from being on the floor. I really hope that the next thing on the prize wheel isn't another push-ups. Please don't be that. Okay, let's get back to our cilantro recipe. We got our cilantro in there, we got our jalapeno in there. Next up, we gotta add 1 clove of garlic. I have myself a clove of garlic right here. We don't need to chop it up all that much because it's gonna be blended up by the blender. But I am gonna cut it into some smaller pieces just to make things a little bit easier for us. Okay. That's that for the garlic. Next up, let's put in a little bit of salt and pepper. Do you keep that set up in your kitchen at all times? No. A lot of the things that I currently have set up in my kitchen that allows this setup to work are things that I only kind of like have in the kitchen for these streams. So for example, the camera that I have right here that I use to show off my sink, it's on a tripod. That I normally kind of keep outside of the kitchen when I don't need to use it. Oh, that's for the pasta. The camera that you can see right here that is showing a top-down view of my stove. Give me a second. That's an iPhone that I also don't keep it attached at all times. Echo, turn off the timer. Okay, it said that we're supposed to give the noodles 6 to 7 minutes until they are all done and nice and cooked. They look pretty well done to me. I'm gonna go ahead, first off, I'm gonna turn the heat off on the pasta sauce that we have here because I think it's pretty well cooked through. And yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm also gonna turn the heat off on our Kraft pasta as well. I'm gonna grab myself a colander. I'm gonna put it over the sink like such. And without further ado, I think I'm going to caland this stuff. Let me just read ahead real quick. Yeah, it says to return to the same saucepan, although we're probably going to need to separate it. All right, let's do this. Yeah, it's pretty good. There's some stragglers at the bottom there, but we more or less got all of them. Okay. We don't want to put this directly back on the burner that it was previously on, so I'm just going to bring the bowl over here to the counter and grab another bowl as well. I'm going to let it drain just a little bit longer. And we don't need to show what's currently going on the stove at the moment, so we're going to move that up as well. We're just going to give the pasta just a little bit more time to cool down and drain out of the colander, and then we're going to separate it into two batches, one of which will go in this bowl right over here. The other one will go in the pot it was previously inside of. Okay, let's finish up with our pesto. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to add just a little bit of salt. Just add a little bit of salt for flavor. I think that's okay. Next, I'm going to crack a little bit of pepper in here. All right, pepper is cracked. What's next? Right, we need our half a cup of slivered almonds. And then after that, we need our olive oil. All right, I think that's fine. You know what? Maybe that was a little bit too much. I'll put these almonds back in here. And finally, we need our olive oil. Hold on a sec. There's a wire here that's near one of the bell graters. I'm just going to move it out of the way. There we go. It says we want to use 1/4 of a cup of this stuff to start off, so that's what we will do. All right, without further ado, let's go ahead and let's make some pesto. Heads up, it might be a little bit on the loud side, but we'll get through it together. Seems like it took a little bit of time to kind of get through the almonds at the bottom, but should get to the other greens soon. Don't worry, I'll figure this out. I mean, it looks pretty good on the inside. It's just there's like that last little bit at the bottom that isn't really blending. Sorry if that hurt your ears a little bit. CTO the bro. Oh, it already smells pretty good though. I gotta say, already smells pretty good. Okay. And I just gotta scrape all the mixture off back into the bowl. There we go. Now let's see if we can get the final little bit. You know what, I'm thinking we could use maybe a little bit more olive oil. I think that some more olive oil might help grease the wheel a little bit. There we go, let's see if that helps. Okay, I think this is looking a little bit better than how it looked before. I don't see any more kind of remaining unmixed leafy greens in here. It seems like it's all pretty cohesive, which is how we want it to be. Yeah, I'm just stirring around, and yeah, I think we more or less got it all in. Let's go ahead and let's give this thing a quick little taste test. Huh. I was expecting that to be super spicy, but it's actually not bad. It's actually not bad at all. I'm actually kind of surprised. I'm actually very pleasantly surprised, actually. This is good. There's a little bit, like a tiny little bit of a kick, but it's not that bad. All right, perfection. We're gonna go ahead and we're just gonna put this stuff over to the side over here. Oh, and we should also unplug this thing and put it over to the side as well, to give ourselves a little bit more space on the counter. There we go. Okay, with the pesto taken care of, I think next up on the chopping block is for us to divide up and mix together our pasta. So let's go ahead and let's do that. Let's grab ourselves a mixing spoon. Oh, we can use this. And we gotta be as even as possible in terms of our distribution of the macaroni, but obviously there's only so precise that we can be, especially considering that we're dealing with two very different shaped bowls. Okay. I don't know if that's perfectly even in terms of their distribution of pasta, but I think I did about as good of a job as I could. I think this one might actually have a little bit more than that one, but oh well. Something to be figured out on a later date, on a later occasion. Actually, let me just put a little bit from here and there. There we go. Okay, let me grab the craft boxes from earlier. After the macaroni has been returned to its respective bowls, we've got to add 1 tablespoon of butter, 1/3 of a cup of skim milk, and the cheese sauce mixtures. And then after that, the flavor boost packets as well. There we go, number 1. And number 2. Let's grab our water. Sorry, I meant to say our milk. And our butter as well. There this is the part where I should probably grab some normal spoons because this will make this part a little bit easier. There we go. We got our tablespoon of butter for batch number 1. And we got our tablespoon of butter for batch number 2. We're going to use some more butter a bit later on, but not for now. And I'm just going to go ahead, I'm going to reuse the measuring cup I used earlier for the water. We're going to measure out 1/4 of a cup of milk for batch number 1. There we go. There we go. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to quickly put this thing back in the fridge. I'm going to grab this box as well. Oh shit. It says 1/3 of a cup of skim milk. This is a problem. I don't know. What? You take away 1/4 of a cup from 1/3 of the cup, what are you left with? I don't know. I'm just going to eyeball what I think that difference would be, and I'm going to add it to each. Should have been checking a little bit more frequently. There we go. I'm actually, hold on, let me put the milk out in case I need to milk them up a little bit more. The noodles are not as warm as they were previously, so it's taking the butter a little bit more time to melt into them. Butter's almost melted through. Just need to give it a little bit more time. Same thing here. Oh, yeah, there he is. Okay. While those two guys are taking their time, actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and let's add in our flavor boost packets now. Because I was just about to start with the chicken, but let's get this out of the way first. All right. This one will be our buffalo wing flavor packet. And this one will be our jalapeno flavor packet, which unfortunately is not as green in coloration as you would hope it would be. But alas. Hold on a second. There we go. I'm just picking up a piece of the packaging that fell on the floor. All right. Let's mix this stuff in. I can begin to already feel the kind of chemical taste of the buffalo flavor packet wafting up to me. There we go. Now, unfortunately, I wish that this particular flavor packet would turn this batch of mac and cheese green, but unfortunately, from experience, I know that it will not. What I'm thinking is that I actually could try adding like a drop of green food coloring to this mixture, but my fear is that that might actually turn it a little bit like more brown than green. So I don't know if I'm actually going to do that just yet. Sorry, I need to just take a quick second to take a couple of steps and get a good crank of the neck. All right. That's done its thing. That's done its thing. I think that they're actually fine the way that they are. I don't think that I need to add any flavoring, not flavoring packets, color packets to them. Now, here's the deal. In the original mac and cheese recipe from the Mythical Kitchen channel, the idea is that from here, once we've mixed our milk and butter into the mixture, that we're going to want to add 2 eggs to each. Here's what it says in the instructions. Allow the mac and cheese to cool for 15 minutes. Add mozzarella cheese and an egg to the mac and cheese and then stir to fully combine. Make sure the macaroni is adequately cooled. Otherwise, the egg will scramble. That's its instructions, not mine. So, yeah, that's something that we are going to have to accommodate. Echo, set a timer for 5 minutes.
5 minutes, starting now.
After 5
By the
minutes...
way, you have a new notification.
Great.
Do you want to hear it?
No, I don't want to hear it. After 5 minutes passes, we will go ahead and we'll add our shredded mozzarella cheese and our eggs to it. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get our mozzarella cheese out of the fridge just so that we can get that part ready. Okay. While that's happening, let's move on to our chicken. So, our wingless buffalo chicken pizza recipe, which we're going to be consulting to help make our food creations today, comes courtesy of thefoodnetwork.com, courtesy of the one and only Rachel Ray, many a fan on this particular show. Place chicken on a plate and drizzle extra virgin olive oil over the chicken, then season with grill seasoning. When the grill is hot, or our frying pan is hot in this case, because we don't need to overcomplicate this with a grill, add chicken and cook for about 3 minutes on each side. How much chicken are we going to be using? We're going to be using 3/4 of chicken breast. Where is our chicken? Here we go. All right, we're going to go ahead and we're going to dump all the water that's in that bowl into the sink. Give me just a second. I'm going to put the milk away in the fridge. And lo and behold, we have not as frosty chicken cutlets as what we had previously, though they are still a little bit cold, but we'll manage. All right, let's go ahead. I actually have a scale over here, so we can use that to measure out how many pounds we're dealing with. Give me just a second. There we go. Actually, I know what to do. Give me just a quick second. This is the plate that I'm going to be putting the chicken on when I season it. I'm just going to... hold on a second. I can put it on here and then I can reset it so that it's... Oh, no, wait, hold on. Was that the right one? No. Give me a second. There we go. And then I can press... the problem is that it's such a big plate. I'm going to swap it out with the smaller one. Here we go. Okay. Let's go ahead and let's grab one of these bad boys. It's still kind of frosty, but again, we'll do our best. See how much we're dealing with. That's 7.9 ounces. Now, how much of a pound is that? If we put another one of these guys on, we got 1.08. So, pretty close to a pound. Okay, so it seems like we got 16. So just one of these is about half of that. So if we cut one of these guys in half, we probably should have 3/4. It's a little bit frosty, but we'll be able to make it through. That's 12.6. That's fine by me. All right, let's go ahead and let's wash our hands. Because we're gonna, before we do anything else, put the rest of the chicken back away in the fridge, and so I wanna make sure my hands are properly washed before we do so. Where is the cloth I've been using? Here it is. Okay. By the way, I've not forgotten about the third wheel spin that we need to get to. I think after I put this chicken in the fridge, I will deal with that. Give me just a second. Well, it seems like the timer on our Amazon Echo is about to go off. That's the one I set for the mac and cheese. Give me a second. Echo, turn off the timer. There we go. All right, let's go ahead. We'll do our wheel spin, and then we'll mix the other ingredients into our mac and cheese, and then we'll deal with our chicken cutlets, which still need to cool down a little bit so it all works out. Sorry, I didn't mean to say cool down. I meant to say heat up. They need to return to an adequate room temperature for us to most effectively use them, is what I should have said. All right. 1, 2, and 3. It's durian fruit candy time. Well, I appreciate that this won't take at least too much time out of my day. Indeed, yes, it is durian fruit candy that we gotta indulge in right now, right here. Only a couple more episodes and we won't need to deal with these things anymore. It's typically, by the way, only 2 durian candies per stream. So that means that if we should land on it another time on this stream, there are only 5 more opportunities for us to have these things for the rest of Kozibear's Cooking Season 3. Of course, Season 4 could come around and we could still be durian candying it up then. So I guess I can't celebrate too soon. All right, here we go. Yeah, it still sucks. This stuff still really super duper super duper sucks. Okay. Give me a quick second. Okay, I think the mac and cheeses are definitely cooled enough where I think we can do what we got to do here. Let me bring the counter view in. You should probably use a separate knife for cutting the cheese. All right. All right, it's got to be 2 eggs and a cup of cheese in both mixtures. I don't know how much mozzarella I'm going to be able to get out of this particular block. I'm hoping it's a little bit more than a pound. Sorry, more than a cup, so that I won't be grating up too much of what remains of our mozzarella over there. Yeah, that candy still sucks. Let's see. There's a little piece over here that didn't fully get grated up. Okay. Let's go ahead. Let's measure out a cup of the stuff. Didn't say that we have to really pack it in there, so we can keep it kind of loose. That looks about a cup to me. There we go. Let's just scrape some of the cheese at the bottom of this thing. Here we go. And number 2. I don't think this is going to measure up to a cup, so we might have to grate some more mozzarella. At a certain point, I'm going to have to just bite into the candy so it will stop rattling around in my head. I'm really dreading when I have to do so. Oh, you know what? Hold on. Before I forget, I better go ahead and I better preheat the oven so that we can plop our macaroni and cheese crusts as soon as we're ready to do so. 400 degrees. I'm going to set it to convection bake, 415 degrees Fahrenheit. Come on, come on. Just a little bit more. Little itty bit more. All right. Let's see, is this? Yeah, it's about a cup. All right, perfect. And we just scrape the rest of the cheese at the bottom of the measuring cup in here. Rest of this cheese we will move over to the side to be used later on. Same with the cheese block itself. All right. I don't think that the bottom of this thing is no longer all that hot, so we can put our hot plate away. Let's crack some eggs in here. There we go, egg number 1. Egg number 2. As stated earlier, we want to make sure that it would cool down enough so that the eggs wouldn't curdle, and I think we are exactly where we need it to be. Okay, it looks pretty evenly mixed for me. Of course, once we begin to actually try and shape it, we'll be able to see then if we need to maybe add a little bit more egg, or maybe we add a little bit of flour to kind of thicken the mixture a little bit. All right, same thing here. Egg number 1. Egg number 2. All right. Looks pretty evenly mixed up. Let's go ahead, let's just put our eggshells into the compost recycling real quick. Oven is still taking a little bit of time to heat up. That's probably something I should have remembered to do so a little bit sooner. It's all right. We can certainly wait a little bit. The pizzas in question are only going to cook for like 20 minutes or so once they're in the oven, so we don't have to wait too long. That's the thing. The actual, there's a fair bit of prep work to do for today's recipes, but they only take like a little bit of time to actually cook today, so it's not that bad. In the meantime, let's work a little bit on our chicken, shall we? So here's what I'm thinking. To speed up the process of cooking these bad boys, I'm just going to cut them thin. The recipe, courtesy of Rachel Ray, doesn't really say how they should be prepared prior to us grilling them. Just says use, 3/4 of a pound of chicken breast cutlets. Place chicken on a plate and drizzle extra virgin olive oil over the chicken, then season with grill seasoning. Doesn't say anything again about how we should really prepare it before that point, but I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to just cut these things in half, make them a little bit more thin, just so that this particular part goes a little bit faster. At least I think that's what it will do. All right. That plate is going to go over there for the time being. Okay. Let's see. This one, I feel like I could probably, because this one is kind of thick. It's also kind of thick because it's still a little bit frozen. I feel like I could, and no, I don't think it's really going to work. Okay, well, these are going to be our 4 pieces of chicken breast in that case. Again, let me just wash my hands real quick. Okay. Let's grab the plate that we were previously going to use. We're going to go ahead and we're going to put these delightful pieces of chicken all over it, like such. Make a little bit of space over here. And again, I'm just gonna wash my hands because I don't want to be, you know, transmitting raw chicken flesh all over the kitchen. Recipe does not say how much olive oil to use. Let me just check real quick. It says, yeah, just extra virgin olive oil for drizzling. So we're just gonna go ahead and drizzle this stuff real quick. I'm gonna just drizzle a little bit from the side like this. Just get a fine little drizzle in there. There we go. And now we're gonna go ahead and add a little bit of our grill seasoning on here. This is actually a barbecue seasoning recipe that I made myself using various spices that I already had waiting in my cupboards. Okay. This one we actually have to use a specific amount. It recommends 2 teaspoons of grill seasoning. The recipe itself says McCormick Montreal seasoning. I have not actually seen that particular seasoning in Montreal. Again, it was cheaper for me to just make the seasoning myself using a random recipe I found online. All right. So I'm going to try very carefully to just, actually maybe it would be better if I like took little pinches of the stuff and like just sprinkled it here, there, and everywhere. Okay, okay. Okay, I feel like some of the pieces of chicken could use a little bit more seasoning, so I'm just gonna grab like half a teaspoon and work that into it. There we go. I think that's good. I think that's nice and good. All right. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this plate of chicken over here. Oven is currently at 267 degrees Fahrenheit and counting. So a little bit more and we should be ready. I'm going to keep this knife by the chicken as well, so we can just remember that that is the chicken knife in question. Okay. Let's go ahead. Let's prepare our mac and cheese to cook in the oven. So, the recipe, courtesy of the Mythical Kitchen YouTube channel, basically says that what we gotta do is we gotta either grease down a baking dish, like a cast iron skillet, with vegetable oil, or line a baking dish with parchment paper, like what we've done over here, and add our eggy mac and cheese, patting down evenly across the pan until you have a uniform layer, and bake for 20 minutes. Now, if we bring in the image of what the finished product is supposed to look like here, it doesn't seem like they made a specific attempt to make like a, you know, like a kind of like indent in the center of the crust to make room for the ingredients on top. I will nevertheless try to kind of see if I can make an indent, but if that doesn't work out, it's okay. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna start with the jalapeno mac. Okay, it's definitely keeping together, so that's a good thing. ultimately it doesn't need to be perfect. We just need to make sure that it sticks generally together in like a generally circular shape. There we go. You know, this part would be easier if I actually got some plastic gloves to wear, but I don't have those. So instead, I'm going to use some plastic bags. I used this recently for actually a recipe that I made on my own time, and it worked out pretty okay. So it should work out again here. Okay. We don't want our mac and cheese pizza to be too thick, so I'm going to do my best to really kind of like spread this bad boy out. Okay, I think that's pretty good. I'm actually kind of impressed by how good I was able to get the shape to be. Okay. I guess I can probably reuse these plastic bags. I don't think it's going to be the biggest deal in the world if I do. Let me just put this over here temporarily. The oven is currently at 319 degrees Fahrenheit and counting. Okay. Like last time, we're gonna spoon this stuff onto the parchment paper to the best of our ability. Hello, 00. Sorry I didn't see you come in. Let's hope this stays in this shape. I hope so too. I think it will. I don't think it's going to spread out all that much. It doesn't have any like yeast in it. So I think that we should be okay. I think. Thanks again for tuning in. We are, I want to say we're maybe halfway through the stream. We gotta bake our crusts in the oven. We gotta prepare our buffalo chicken topping that will go on one of the pizzas, and then we gotta bake them both after that. That's sort of the current state of affairs. Oh, wow, I'm actually managing, I'm kind of impressed by how much of this I'm managing to do without the need for the plastic bags like before. All right, well, I'm just going to go ahead and put these things by the sink so we don't have to deal with them right now. Right, and let's grab our plastic bags so we can just do a little bit of additional shaping. All right, looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. Hold on, there are two pieces over here that got a little bit wayward. All right. Now, We just have to wait for our oven to reach its optimal temperature and we will be good to go. Let me just wash my hands real quick. Okay. 371 degrees Fahrenheit. You know what? I have the need to use the bathroom real quick, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to be right back myself. And when I will be right back, we should be ready to put our crusts in the oven. Whoopsies. I got a little bit confused there. I thought that I could step on the foot pedal to end the kind of be right back sequence. Oh, there we go. The oven is ready to go. However, I forgot that actually in this case I have to press on the be right back button on my Stream Deck to get myself out of that mode. All right, the oven just reached its optimal temperature. So let's go ahead and let's put these bad boys in. Let me grab some oven mitts. Obviously the trays I'm putting in the oven are cold, but I still want to make sure that my hands are adequately protected. All right, that's number one, the buffalo, and this is number two, the jalapeno, which I think I might actually need to put up above over there because they won't fit side by side. Perfect. All right. Originally, when I was planning out this stream, I was thinking that maybe I would use an additional third box of mac and cheese if those two boxes weren't big enough, but I think they were fine just the way they were. Echo, set a timer for 20 minutes.
20 minutes, starting now.
Okay, let's get to work on our buffalo chicken. To go back over to Rachel Ray's recipe from the Food Network, this is what she asks of us. Place our chicken onto a plate and drizzle with extra virgin olive oil, and then season with our grill seasoning or barbecue seasoning. When our grill, or rather our spatula, is hot, add chicken and cook for 3 minutes on each side. It says that we want to preheat this to high, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit it up to high heat. So I'll just wait a little bit for that to kind of reach the temperature that it needs to reach. I'm going to go ahead. This is the mixture of like marinara sauce and tomato puree. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put that over here on this side of the kitchen, just so that we, don't have to constantly keep it in proximity of these other hot plates. And basically, after we cook our chicken on each side, in a medium skillet over medium heat, maybe we'll have it be the same one, melt in butter and stir in Worcestershire hot sauce and tomato sauce. Actually, you know what? We'll have it be this pan over here, and we'll have it over here on this burner. Melt butter and stir in Worcestershire sauce, hot sauce, and tomato sauce. Remove the chicken from the grill and thinly slice it. Add chicken to the sauce and coat. Cover the pizza dough with the saucy buffalo chicken, cheeses, and scallions. Bake for 18 minutes or until crisp. I'm going to grab the cutting board and I'm going to put it back over here so we can have it ready to cut up the chicken when we get to that point. Let's go ahead and let's begin adding in the ingredients that we need to add together to make our buffalo sauce that we're going to put the chicken inside of. It says that we need to add together our butter and Worcestershire sauce. I keep mispronouncing its name, by the way. It's completely inconsistent. Hot sauce and tomato sauce. Let's see here. 2 tablespoons of butter only. Oh, well, I can put this big thing of butter back in the fridge in that case. Let's see. I'm gonna go real quick and I'm gonna bring the stove view into the corner because it doesn't need to be the big main focus or attention just right yet. I'm gonna add our first, hold on, I'm just checking to see the heat of this thing. I think it still needs a little bit more time. I'm gonna add the first tablespoon of butter to this pot. There we go. There we go, 2nd tablespoon to the pot. Let's see here. We added our tablespoons of butter. Let's add our tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. I'm pretty sure I got it right that time. Okay, I think our frying pan is more or less ready. Butter is going to go back in the fridge. Let's see here. Let me just add one more thing to the other pot, and then I'll start cooking up our chicken. All right, it says we need to add 2 to 3 tablespoons of hot sauce. I have our Tabasco on hand, but I think this might be a little bit, lacking. But if I do just 2 tablespoons, it might be okay. I can always just use like a mix of different hot sauces, because I have some more of that habanero, sweet habanero hot sauce waiting for me in our pantry if I need to. Okay, that's 2 whole tablespoons of this stuff. I think, yeah, I'll add some of the sweet habanero in a second. First, though, let's deal with our chicken. Let me just check something really quick. Cook 3 minutes on each side, so a total of 6 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to lower the temperature just a little bit. All right, without further ado, let's go ahead and let's grill up some chicken. Let me just bring the counter stove view into full effect. Echo, set a timer for 2.5 minutes.
Second timer, 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Starting now.
Okay. Just want to make sure they're not like overly stuck to one section of our frying pan. I tried to, there we go. The fan didn't immediately turn on and I was a little bit concerned. Looks like the undersides of them are getting nicely cooked, which is what we want. But we want to make sure that they're not, you know, burning, obviously, so we're going to still be careful. Let's see, where is the sweet habanero sauce? I know it's in here somewhere. If I can't find it, it's not the biggest deal in the world. We got 2 tablespoons of hot sauce in there, but if I could just find the sweet habanero to add to it, that would be great. It has a very distinctive bottle shape, so I'm a little bit surprised that I'm not like immediately finding it right off the bat. All right, you know what? I'm just gonna keep it at that for now. All right. Echo, how much time is left on both timers?
You have 2 timers. A 2-minute 30-second timer with about 30 seconds left.
All
And
right.
a 20-minute timer with about 12 minutes left.
So about 12 minutes left on the 20-minute timer for the pizzas in the oven, and about 30 seconds left for these guys, which works out just fine. Okay. Echo, turn off the timer. There we go. That's a good degree of grilling, actually. I'm quite impressed. Quite impressed. Echo, set a timer for 3 minutes.
Second timer, 3 minutes, starting now.
All right. While that's happening, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to see what the deal is with our tomato sauce. Like I said, this is supposed to be half marinara, half puree, but I don't know how flavorful of a sauce that makes it. It's actually not bad, but it definitely feels not as flavorful as some other sauces I've had in the past. You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking I could add a little bit of Italian seasoning to this stuff, just to make it a little bit more on the flavorful side, and then I'll add it to our pot. You've got to be careful with this thicker piece of chicken because there's a part on the side of it that is not kind of cooking through as well as it could be. Hold on a second. There's these 2 small pieces of chicken over here that are pretty much cooked through. Hold on a second. Actually, it's not good to reuse this particular cutting board because this cutting board has the kind of raw chicken feckle on it. So I'm going to move this cutting board out of the way and I'll grab something smaller. There we go, perfect. There we go. Okay. I gotta be sparing with the amount of Italian seasoning I'm gonna add to this because I don't want to add too much. I'm thinking that maybe I'll add I'll start with a teaspoon and see how that fares. go. Echo, how much time is left on the timers?
You have 2 timers.
Oh, 10 seconds left on this one.
Timer with about 10 seconds left. And a 20-minute timer with about 1 minute.
This piece of chicken is done. Echo, turn off the timer. This piece of chicken is pretty much done. And yeah, this is the chicken I was a little bit concerned about, but I think it's, there's some pinkish sides inside of it though. But then again, these sides will probably be cooked when it's in the oven, so I'm not too concerned. I'm going to turn down the temperature just a little bit. All right. All right, I think that's going to be enough for that piece of chicken for now. I'm going to turn off all the heat on this particular burner. And we're going to daintily put it there. Okay. Actually, I'm going to take it off the burner as well. I'm going to put it over here on this hot plate. Oh, actually, let me put it a little bit away. There we go. Okay, I'm going to turn down the fan a little bit. Okay. Echo, how much time is left in the timer?
You have 5 minutes and 40 seconds left on your 20-minute timer.
5 minutes, okay. It's not all the time in the world, but we can manage. All right, let's see how our tomato sauce tastes now. Yeah, all right, I think that's fine. Okay, how much of this stuff do we need to add in again? Let's see here. A half a cup, okay. Oh man, it's too bad I put that spoon in my mouth. I'm gonna do away with it and we'll grab ourselves a new spoon. Just check up on the pizzas real quick. Ooh, they look good. And they're keeping their shape too. Not quite. That's good. Now let me just add just a little bit more, just for good luck. All right. Okay. Whew, we got all the ingredients that we need to assemble for that. And now, here's what Rachel Ray instructs us to do. Medium heat, melt the butter and stir in the Worcestershire hot sauce and tomato sauce. All right, perfect. That's about medium heat. That should be good. we never need to use this bowl, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put it away in the cupboard like such. Okay. I should also get a couple of hot plates ready for when we take the pizza crusts out of the oven, actually. So I'm just going to do that real quick. There we go. All right. It's melting along its merry way. I don't think we're going to need any more parchment paper, so I'll go ahead and put that away as well. Echo, how much time is left on the timer?
You have 2 minutes left on your 20-minute timer.
2 minutes. Okay. Let's get some of our cheeses that we're going to be using out of the fridge. This is our Monterey Jack, as you can see. We also have some blue cheese, which we'll be adding to our buffalo wing sauce mixture in just a bit. Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to cut open a couple of these chickens just to see how cooked they are through. This one seems pretty good. This seems pretty good. This one, I'd imagine, will probably be good. Yeah. This is the only one I'm a little bit concerned about, but we'll see. Well, look at that. It's all nicely cooked through. Perfect. Let me just bring in the counter view. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just cut off a part of the mozzarella cheese. And the idea is that this piece of mozzarella cheese over here, and this little piece as well, if I can tear it off, these will both go for the cheese that will go on top of pizza number 1. And pizza number 2 will be mozzarella and cheddar. All right, Echo, turn off the timer. Here we go. Let's bring in our oven view. Gonna grab our oven mitts. There we go. Looking real nice. Look at this bad boy. Look at this bad boy. This is the jalapeno one. You know what? I think it'll be better if I put the other one on the other side because there will be more space for it here. All right. We're rearranging things in our kitchen more than we had to rearrange stuff in unpacking. And there we go. Perfect. Perfect. I was not expecting them to actually come out this good. All right. Okay. Our mixture of tomato sauce over on the stove has melted and congealed together enough, which means that we're ready to move on to our next step. After we removed our chicken from the grill and thinly sliced it, we add the chicken to the sauce and coat. And then, hold on a second. Oh, okay, interesting. Interesting, okay, huh. I must have misread the recipe a little bit earlier on. Hello, Guppy1387. Yes, these are two pretty cheesy pizzas. This here on the left is Kraft mac and cheese with a mixture of mozzarella and the kind of Buffalo Flavor Boost packet. Actually, you know what? I should probably preserve those Flavor Boost packets for later on, for when I get to the end of the stream, actually, and I want to show what these pizzas were made out of. Here, let me just show you them real quick. Other pizza made with the jalapeno Flavor Boost packet, so a little bit more spice and cheese for that one. But yeah, I thought that we were supposed to add the blue cheese to our kind of tomato mixture, but actually, in fact, it would seem as if we actually add the blue cheese on top of the pizza along with the Monterey Jack cheese. Okay, well, I guess that's that. In which case, maybe the mozzarella that we shred here, we should shred just with cheddar, actually. Okay. Let's go ahead, let's bring in the counter view cam. Real quick, we're just gonna shred up our chicken and add it to our sauce. I set the heat down on low, so we're not dealing with an overly hot sauce at the moment. And I love how it is just becoming pulled apart. Hold on, let me taste a little bit of this. That's really good. That's actually really good. I have some chicken left over in the fridge. When I'm done with the stream for today, I'm gonna actually grill up some more chicken with the same grill seasoning. And that chicken will serve as part of my lunch for tomorrow. Because that's really good, and I definitely should have some of it that isn't just part of this pizza thing that I'm making. Man, I can't stop eating it. It's really good. Okay. There's some pieces in there that are a little bit bigger than some of the others, but it should be okay. Thank you for tuning in, Guppy, by the way. I really appreciate it. I hope that your weekend has been going swell so far. Uh-oh. I think there's a part of the chicken over here that didn't get cooked through as much as it could have. I'm gonna cut around it real carefully. Yeah, this part I will not keep. Yeah, this part I won't keep either. This stuff is going to go in the garbage. I'll try to cook it better next time. Pulled pork mostly. Wow. I've not had pulled pork myself in a long time. I'd like to make it myself, but it seems like it's a little bit of a process. I don't know that I would make it on stream. I think I would try to just make it off stream on my own time. Okay. Now let's go ahead and let's sauce up our chicken. This is going to be good. This is going to be good. I can already tell. I'm going to go ahead. I'm just going to turn the temperature off on that, because I don't think that we're going to need to cook it any more than it's already cooked. Okay. Without further ado, let's go ahead. Let's bring this thing. I think we're out of hot plates. Unless, here we go. I'll put the wok over on that particular cutting board, and that'll protect the counter. Okay. Mac and cheese for when you get back. I mean, I'll do my best. Again, I don't know exactly how well these particular food creations are gonna turn out, but yeah. Quippy says, unless you plan a 24-hour stream, probably not gonna work. I mean, if you paid me enough money, I wouldn't be opposed to doing a 24-hour cooking stream, although I think more realistically, if I were to do a pulled pork stream, it would probably just be like for the final hour of it, for when I actually complete the cooking of the pulled pork and I pull it, so to speak. I think that would probably make the most sense. Hold on a second. There we go. We don't need to show what's going on our oven camera anymore, so that got pushed out of the way. Okay, this, I guess what we're gonna do is we're probably gonna assemble our jalapeno pizza first. Actually, I'm just realizing we're gonna need to cut up our scallions and our one jalapeno that we're gonna put on top of that one pizza. So I think we're actually gonna need to bring in a third cutting board to help out for this evening's meal. Give me just a quick second. Just a little bit more mozzarella, and then I'm going to take a break to cut up some of our greens. Okay, I think that's it for the mozzarella. There's actually quite a bit of mozzarella here. I don't know how much cheddar I'm going to need to add to this stuff. Let's go ahead, let's move this over here. I'm going to turn off the fan. Whoa! Guitar Fire 78, thank you for the follow. Because you just followed me, you get a wheel spin on the prize wheel of causality. Let's go ahead and do that now. 1, 2, and 3. 5 push-ups. That means that as the reward / punishment says, I gotta go ahead and I gotta go and do 5 push-ups. Give me a quick little second. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh man, that was a lot. Okay, let's wash our hands real quick. All right, can probably use a small cutting board for this next part, so let me grab one real quick. Here we go. What's a good, I need to find one of the better looking, here we go. We'll go ahead and we'll use this jalapeno. Let's find a knife that will work best for this one. No, no. There we go. All right, now this one we're just gonna kind of cut very kind of plainly and straightforwardly. And of course, I don't need to tell anyone when I complete the pizza that I didn't eat the jalapenos that I'm putting on it. Oh, 0-0 just redeemed 1 wheel spin for 1,000 cozy points. Let me just cut up the jalapeno that I have in front of me, and then we will get right to that. Thank you for redeeming that, by the way. There we go. And that's the jalapenos ready to go for when we get to that pizza. Let's do our wheel spin first. 1, 2, and 3. Hot sauce shot. Okay, so this is actually a little bit of a problem because earlier on in the stream I went routing through my cupboard looking for more hot sauce that I could add to my buffalo wing mixture, but I wasn't able to find it. I have, like I previously had a thing of Tabasco, which I just used up. And I also had a like sweet habanero hot sauce from Cholula that I wasn't able to, here we go. Here we go, I found it. It was well hidden, but I managed to find it. Let me get my little shot cup real quick. We can have ourselves a hot sauce shot. Okay. All right, I think that's about good enough for a shot of this stuff. All right, bottoms up. Oh, ugh. 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 Give me a quick second. I gotta wash this stuff down, otherwise it will continue to infect my mouth for the rest of the evening. Here we go, I'm gonna grab some oat milk. Now normally you wanna drink some milk when you have something spicy. I actually don't know if oat milk helps as much as dairy milk, but I guess we're gonna find out. All right. Okay, before we move on to the next step, I just want to check how hot we need to keep the oven for our second baking of the pizzas. It says, seems like it's still at 400 degrees. Oat milk does not contain casein, so it doesn't help as much as dairy. Thank you, Guppy, for the advice. I still found this to be pretty refreshing, but I'll keep that in mind for the future. All right, I'm just gonna turn up the temperature a little bit. I'm gonna turn this up to 420 degrees. No. There we go. Okay. Well, without further ado, let's grab our jalapeno pizza. And let's begin to assemble it. First things first, we have our, let me bring the camera view in a little bit better. This is our jalapeno and cilantro pesto that I made right at the beginning of today's stream that will serve as the sauce we're gonna be putting on this pizza in place of just normal tomato sauce. I was concerned that we weren't gonna be able to use up this pesto all that much, but lo and behold, I think we might actually have made just about as much as we needed for the stream. Unfortunately, routing around inside the container is a little bit difficult. Okay, let me just grab another spoonful because I'd like to extend, hold on a second. I'm not showing enough of a view of my counter. Here we go. That was unfair of you guys. You guys didn't get to see the pizza coming together. Well, now you can. I just want to add a little bit more of the pesto so I can kind of extend the perimeter of the inner circle just a little bit. Just so that the crust isn't as huge as it could be. Gotta say, I'm very pleased with how green the pesto came out. All right. We got that stuff on, which means that the cheese is next. I'm thinking that for a pizza this size, yeah, we're probably gonna wanna add a little bit of additional cheddar. So let me grate up some cheddar real quick. Here we go. Seems like the oven has reached the new temperature we wanted it to get to. You know what? 425 is maybe a little bit much. I'm just gonna lower it to 415. There we go. There we go. All right. This is the extra little bit of cheddar that I added. I'm just gonna do my best to kind of mix it up. I just want there to be like a nice coating of these cheeses on top of the pesto. I can always grate up some more if I need to. All right, let's go ahead and let's put this on. Now this might be the single most cheesy dish I've ever made in the history of this channel. This is like really leaning pretty intensely into the cheese factor of it all. Okay, just a little bit more. There we go. That's pretty nice. And finally, la pièce de résistance. It is the jalapenos that will go on top of that. All right, looks pretty good. I'm just gonna go ahead and put this over to the side right here while we get our buffalo chicken pizza to come together. Now I'm just gonna consult the recipe for the buffalo pizza real quick because I don't remember how much Monterey Jack cheese it recommends we put on top of it. Seeing as how we're also gonna put blue cheese on top of it too, which is quite strong. Okay, it says, a cup of Monterey Jack cheese, a few generous handfuls. Okay. Let me grab the Monterey Jack real quick. think this will probably be okay, what I have in my hands right now. Let's grab this. Let's grab the bell grater. And I'm just gonna clean up that cutting board real quick because we'll need to use it for the scallions in just a second. Guppy1387 just redeemed 1 wheel spin. All right, 1 wheel spin coming right up. Let me just grate through this cheese real quick, and I will reward you with your redeemed wheel spin. Okay. And there we go. That is all of the Monterey Jack cheese. Let me just, you know what, I'm gonna add a little bit more. Just a little bit more, just so that we have our nice 3 handfuls. All prepped and ready to go. I was gonna ask if you're lactose intolerant because you took oat milk. Then I took another look at those pizzas and I felt stupid. No reason to feel stupid. There are people within my household that are lactose intolerant, which is why we have oat milk. I myself am not lactose intolerant, at least right now, and I am very happy about that. All right, I think that's about enough in terms of the cheese that we need. Let's just move this over here real quick. Okay. What's next? Right, our wheel spin. Let's get around to that. Thank you once again for redeeming that, Guppy. And let's go. Oh, Pokemon card time. All right, I was a little bit concerned that we weren't going to land on this spot for this stream because we've had a Pokemon card time pretty much for all of the prior streams thus far this season. Let's go ahead and let's get that ready. All right, so real simple. We're going to be opening up 4 cards that we previously did not reveal from the booster pack that we first opened up last stream. Let's see. Oh, card number 1, I forgot about the QR code thing. All right, card number 2. Let's go. Na-na, na-na, na-na. Who's it going to be? Well, it's a water energy card, of course. I think we might be at the end of the pile, so we might get a couple of trainer cards. Na-na, na-na, na-na. Who's it going to be? Oh, check it out. It's Simisear. Of course, this is the evolved version of Pansear. It is the Simian Fire Monkey Pokemon. When it gets excited, embers rise from its head and tail, and it gets hot. For some reason, it loves sweets. I believe this is the Pokemon that's based off of, I don't know if it's Bob Marley. It's one of them. Anyways. All right. Card number 3. Dun, na, 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 na. Let's see who it's going to be. Oh, it is a trainer card. Cross-Seaver. You must play 2 Cross-Seaver cards at 1. This effect works 1 time for 2 cards. Put a Pokemon or a supporter card from your discard pile into your hand. Well, that sounds like it could be situationally very useful, but I realize that it might be a little bit difficult to activate. All right, final card of the bunch. Na-na, na-na, na-na. Who's it going to be? Ooh, check this out. It's Sliggoo. The Dragon Slug Pokemon introduced in Gen 6. The lump on its back contains its tiny brain. It thinks only of food and escaping its enemies. That is Sliggoo. All right, those were 2 pretty good cards, actually, to close out things. Okay, let's go ahead. Let's get our buffalo pizza ready. Let's go ahead and let's bring in our counter view camera again. First thing we're going to do is we're going to cut up the scallions that we had planned on cutting up earlier. Recipe says that we got to cut up 3 of these bad boys. We will start with 1, and we'll see from there how many more we need to cut up. All right. There's some pieces of skin here that I think we can do without. I think that's the end of that piece. I feel like the amount of green onion that we have here is pretty plentiful, but I'll go ahead and I'll cut up 1 more. There are some solid Pokemon in Gen 6. One thing that I appreciated about Gen 6 and also Gen 7 and Gen 8 is that they actually featured less new Pokemon than some of the other generations. I know some people feel kind of mixed about that, but I appreciated that because I feel like it gave Game Freak a kind of smaller pool of Pokemon to kind of work with and make the best that they possibly could be. Instead of, like, for example, I feel like Gen 5, well, Gen 5 had its fair share of decent Pokemon as well. I feel like Gen 5 suffered from them having to introduce too many new Pokemon all at once, and so I feel like overall the quality of their design suffered a lot more. I feel like Gen 6, 7, and 8 definitely benefited from Game Freak being a little bit more focused in that regard. Okay, I think that's it for the green onions. Okay, last thing that we need to do is, of course, we need to crumble up some blue cheese. I'm going to try to be careful here because I don't want to like touch parts of the blue cheese that we don't need to indulge in right now. I'm just going to cut this packaging open. I need to get back to Legends Arceus. I beat the main campaign, and I thought it was a very satisfying conclusion, but I want to check out some of the post-game stuff, which seemed interesting, but I didn't really get around to it as much as I could. Okay. Just gonna crumble pieces of blue cheese into the measuring cup until I get to a half of a cup. Kind of gross, but alas, this is what we got to do if we want to make this buffalo chicken pizza come out as best as it possibly could. I think we're actually pretty close. Okay, I think we're... Yeah, we can definitely use a little bit more here, but I feel like at this point, we're pretty close to kind of just using up all of the blue cheese. You know what, I think this is as much blue cheese as we're going to use. I think anything more would be a little bit much. Okay. Well, without further ado, let's go ahead and let's assemble our buffalo chicken pizza. Let's grab ourselves a new spoon. It seems like our chicken is nicely marinated, which is good to see. Not gonna lie, I'm looking forward to checking out both of these pizzas. I think this one will be superb. Just want to see how much I can kind of stretch out the kind of sauce and chicken mixture. There we go. All right. Further ado, let's go ahead. I'll start with the blue cheese crumbles first. This is a little bit tough, not gonna lie. Oh, man, I was not expecting to root through this much blue cheese today. Slimy blue cheese. All right, and finally, last but not least, let's grab our Monterey Jack and let's put this on to seal the deal. And talk about an indulgent, weird-ass dinner. Okay, I think that's good for that pizza. Last thing, of course, is we got to put our little green onions on this. Making sure as I go to make sure they're kind of spread around evenly. All right, I think that's going to be about enough in terms of green onions to put on top of this thing. All right, let me give my hands one last little rinse, and then I'm going to pop both these bad boys in the oven. Recipe says to put them in for 15 minutes. I will abide by that to the best of my ability. All right. In goes the buffalo. And in goes the jalapeno. All right. With that taken care of, let's set our timer. Echo, set a timer for 15 minutes.
15 minutes, starting now.
And while we wait, let's do today's installments of Snacks and Collation. Like last stream, I have 2 delightful international snacks to taste today, so we got a lot of goodness in store. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. Hello everybody, my name is Alexander Kazina, and you are currently watching Snacks and Collation, the weekly segment here on Kozibear's Cooking, where I taste all manner of unusual international snacks and rate them on a scale of 1 to 10. Very seldomly do snacks get a 10, but we always have a good time tasting them all the same. We got 2 snacks today. First snack, which we're going to be dealing with first off the bat, is Dinosaurus. This is a package of chocolate dinosaur cookies that appears to have been come to us by way of France. It says here chocolat au lait, which means milk chocolate. And let's see here on the back of the package. Oh, interesting. So it is definitely a French product, but it seems like, in fact, it was actually made in Belgium. Lotus Bakeries Belge in Belgium. Oh, interesting. Let's see what it says here. Most of the packaging is just like, no conservatives, no colorations, that kind of stuff that you put to let you know that your cookies are moderately healthy. Dino Dinu. So Dino's talking about dinos. Savais-tu que la plupart des dinosaures étaient végétariens? Did you know that most of the dinosaurs were vegetarians? Pas de steak au menu donc, mais ils auraient sans doute adoré un biscuit dinosaurus. So, saying here, there was no steak on the menu, but there's no doubt that they would have probably enjoyed a dinosaurus biscuit. Well, I don't really fashion myself to be a dinosaur, but I have a feeling I might enjoy these cookies too. Let's find out. Oh, interesting. I was not really expecting the package to open up like that. Let's grab one of these things. This is a pretty chunky cookie package. I don't know if there are like multiple inside them or if it's one big cookie. Oh, look at that. It's a total of 3 cookies. Okay. I see. We got a cookie that shows like that one dinosaur that has like the big frilly thing around it. We got one cookie. Oh no, it's a Triceratops, but Triceratops just got cut in half, which I feel is not totally appropriate given its name. Probably should have been cut in 3 pieces. And we got this big guy. I don't know what his name is. All right, let's check out this big guy first. Not bad. Not bad at all. It's not as sweet of a cookie as you would expect it to be. In fact, it's like pretty not sweet at all except for the chocolate part, but it's still tasty. Not bad. Again, a little bit surprising how not sweet it is, but it's still pretty pleasant. All right, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna dive into one more of these guys, and then I think I'll be able to render my verdict. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna try out our unfortunately bisected Triceratops. What I appreciate is that these guys have a pretty good, satisfying, but still like pretty soft crunch to them. It's very satisfying on the teeth. Yeah, I think I'm ready to vote. Some of the other snacks I've had in the past were a little bit more kind of fraught with, a lot of thinking and a lot of uncertainty. I think these guys I pretty much know right off the bat what I want to give them. Dinosaurus cookies, I'm giving you a solid 7 out of 10. You're not absolutely amazing. You're not blowing my pants off, but you're doing what you got to do and you're doing it well. And you had a fun little, piece of trivia on the back. I did not know that most dinosaurs were vegetarians. All right, let's get around to our second thing on Snacks and Collation today. This is a German, or no, wait a minute, is it German? No. See, it's a gummy snack, and I assumed that it was German because, of course, Haribo typically tends to be German, but this particular snack is not German. It is French as well. This is Lutti Scooby-Doo Edition Limitée. That sounds like Scooby-Doo, but it has nothing to do with that show about the cartoon dog and treasure hunters. Treasure hunters? Or they're more like mystery solvers. Scooby-Doo Edition Limitée. Découvrez Scooby-Doo Edition Limitée, les lacets très terriblement délicieux au bon goût de fraises, fruits de bois, myrtille, et orange. So basically these are these like gummy strings, if that's what you want to call them, that are apparently very delicious. They are strawberry, forest berry, orange, and myrtille taste. I'm assuming that myrtille is just like licorice, because one of them is distinctly black colored, and I can't imagine it can be anything else. Okay, I was a little bit confused earlier. I said earlier how I thought it was actually German, but in fact it was actually French. There are German instructions on this as well, so maybe they're enjoyed in both countries. All right, without further ado, let's go ahead and let's give these a look-see. Seems like it's a little bit tough to open. Give me a second. Oh, look at this. This is quite the string. Let's go ahead. Oh, wow. Wow, it actually has like a really strong scent to it. I'm assuming this is the forest berry. I don't know if it's the strawberry. No, hold on a second. This is the orange. So this one has to be the strawberry. The orange has a surprisingly strong smell to it too. Let's bring the super zoom in so we can get my full reactions when I jump into this stuff. Wow. I'm kind of impressed by how much of the strawberry flavor actually comes through with this thing. Okay, I'm gonna try the orange next. Like I said, kind of surprised that I can smell the orange too. This is where I get a little bit confused. I have two strings left. I have a black one and I have a yellow one. I was under the assumption that like one of the darker ones was the forest berry, but I guess not. Maybe this is the forest berry? Let's smell. No, I think that's definitely licorice. What's this one? I don't really know what it is. Let's find out. Oh. I think that's like pineapple. No, it's like, no, it's something tangier. Well, let's try out the black one and we'll see how that fares. The black one was the forest berry one, not the yellow one. Okay, I think we got a pretty good taste test of all these ones. Let's, for the finale for Snacks and Collation, we're gonna grab one of each string of candy and we're gonna consume them all at once to see how they fare. I have high hopes for this. I think that individually they were all great. I think that together they will be just as great. Not bad, not bad. I feel like the tanginess is a little bit more intense as like its aftertaste when I have them all at once, but okay. I'm really kind of blown away by these. They're not perfect, but I went into these guys expecting just like a shit show because they looked like the least appetizing of any of the snacks I've had thus far this season, but they really kind of impressed me. And for that reason, I'm going to give these guys an 8 out of 10. I think that they kind of really pulled their weight in an unexpected fashion, and I really gotta kind of respect and give tribute to that. All right, with that done and out of the way, let's close out Snacks and Collation and get back to our regularly scheduled programming. Right now, my Echo Dot is showing just 4 minutes and 44 seconds left and counting for our pizzas to cook. Just gonna check on them in the oven. Oh, yeah, they are coming along nicely. All the cheese has melted, but the cheese hasn't fully browned yet, so I'm guessing that the final 5 minutes or so are for our cheese to brown. We have quite a bit of stuff on the counter, and when we bring our pizzas out of the oven, we're going to want to have them both on the counter. So final 4 minutes will be spent just cleaning up just a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put our blue cheese back in the fridge. It's probably the biggest priority for us at the moment. Same is probably true of a lot of the other cheeses as well. So let's do that too. There we go. That's the Monterey Jack, and that was the cheddar. And we also got a block of mozzarella, but I don't know where the packaging was that it went with. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to use this piece of plastic wrap to wrap it up. There we go. And voila, these are ready to go back in the fridge. Okay, I don't think we're gonna need to use any more Cholula hot sauce, so I'm gonna put that back in the cupboard from whence it came as well. Unless, of course, the wheel spin should land on it, in which case, God help us. I don't think we're gonna need to use any more green onion or any more jalapenos, so those will go back in the fridge as well. You know what? I think I might need to use a little bit more plastic wrap for the jalapeno container. Give me just a quick second to grab the Glad wrap. Okay, there are a few other things here that would be a little bit more difficult to put away, so I'm just going to try to make a little bit more space for now on the counter. So I think that's the best I can do at this point. Here's the package of Kraft mac and cheese we didn't use today. I'll put that over there. Okay. There are quite a few food scraps still on the counter, so I'm just gonna use my final minute to wipe them up real quick. There we go. Let me close the fridge real quick. Perfect. All right. Echo, how much time is left on the timer?
You have 10 seconds left on your 15-minute timer.
Okay, so I looked in the oven just a minute ago and none of the cheeses had begun to brown. But you know what? The pieces still look good enough that I feel like I'm honestly okay with living with the cheeses not being brown. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take them out right now. Echo, turn off the timer. Well, gotta say, I'm impressed by the fact that I managed to turn in today's stream on time, 6:43. Just a little bit under 3 hours. Okay. Second pizza, out it comes. Whew. Let me just turn off the oven real quick so I don't forget about that. I'm also gonna go ahead, just while I remember to do so, and take out the iPhone that I typically use to film the stove, because it tends to get quite hot up where that iPhone is situated. So no reason to keep it up there any longer. Oh, wrong button on the Stream Deck. There we go. And these, as you can see right here, are the fruits of my efforts for tonight's stream. We have our jalapeno mac and cheese pizza, and we have our buffalo chicken mac and cheese pizza. Both of them looking real good, like real shockingly good. I am very excited to dig into these, which I'll be doing after today's stream has concluded, because they're still quite hot at the moment. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get my pizza cutter ready. Thank you once again to everybody for tuning in to tonight's stream, for subscribing to me, for following to me, for, of course, redeeming the Cozy Points reward for making me spin the prize wheel. You better believe that I appreciated all those push-ups that you made me do. We got 2 more episodes left of Kozibear's Cooking Season 3, and let me tell you, I have some very fun and unusual stuff planned for them. You better be prepared, because they are going to blow you away. Until next time, I'm Alexander Kozina. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and of course, last but not least, TikTok, at Alex Kozina, AlexKozina. And until next time, I want you to keep on cooking.